In this exercise, we will learn the gradient tool. The gradient tool is used basically for blending different colors in the image, and we can create multiple effects of colors by using the gradient tool. Okay, let's see how this tool will work. If I move my cursor on Tools, we can see here the gradient tool. If I right-click on it, we can see that G is the shortcut key. Okay, now I have selected the gradient tool. Let's make a new layer on it by clicking the Create New Layer icon. Okay, now if I click and drag it by holding the Shift key from the center to the left side, like this, we can see a black and white color effect. And from here, we can adjust the opacity like this. Okay, let's make a new layer and delete this layer. Now we can see in the above control option, we have different gradient color options. Let's choose any colorful gradient and click and drag it from the center by holding Shift to make a straight line. Now adjust the opacity from here. We can see we have a very nice effect, and we can choose and apply any of them. If we want to add more gradients here, then click on the little gear icon, and we can see here we have different preset gradient colors. We have color harmonies. So let's go ahead and click Append here. The gradient is added, and we have metal gradients and a pastel gradient. We have a simple gradient, and we can apply any of them. Here, we can also have a large view and a small thumbnail view, like this. And we have a small and large list, something like this. Now, let's see above. There are more control options. We have here the radial gradient. Let's choose it and make a new layer and hide this layer. And from the center, click and drag it like this. We can see the radial gradient, and we can adjust the opacity from here. Okay, now let's hide this layer and make a new layer. Next, we have the angle gradient. Let's click and drag it from the center, like this. We can see the angle effect, and we can adjust the opacity from here. So let's hide this layer and make another new layer. Next, we have reflected gradient. Let's click and drag. We can see the line effects, and we can adjust the opacity from here. Okay, let's hide this layer and make a new layer. Next, we have diamond gradient. Let's click and drag, and we can see the diamond effect. We also can adjust opacity from here. Okay, next we have mode option, and let's keep that normal so you can apply any effect. Okay, next we have opacity options. My suggestion is to keep it at 100% because we can adjust the opacity from layers separately, and this is the best way. Okay, next we have the reverse option. It is just a way to reverse the color, like this, and we can see that our colors are being reversed here. Next, we have a dither option. I always recommend you to keep this one checked on because it will keep the gradient color smooth. All right, next, we have the transparency option. If we click this off, then we can apply a 0% gradient. If I choose the transparency gradient effect from here, and then when I check this off, the transparency effect is on, and the color switch is off. I always keep this on. Okay, now if I single click on the gradient color from above, here we can see the gradient editor window is open, and we can edit our gradients from here. We can choose any gradient from here, and we can adjust it by dragging it from left to right or from right to left. And if we single click here, we can add color. We can pick a color from swatches, like this. And we can add as many colors as we want, like this. Then, if we want to adjust the opacity, then we can click on the above left or the right side little box, and we can adjust the opacity, something like that. Now, if we add this gradient to our gradient color by clicking on the New tab, we can also delete any gradient from here. Okay, we have learned that gradient is the best option to create graphic effects. Now, in the next exercise, we will learn the paint bucket tool.